Hello, YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. This is a video about comedy. This is a video about positive and negative, which is a trinity, which is one has a shared identity. What is positive or negative? But it also is positive or negative onto its inherent, active, and progressive nature of its identity, distinctly, non-distinctly, and simultaneously, with two identities of sequence nature further. For example, the cell nucleus, the cell body, and the cell wall are manifest in demonstration of this, also with two identities of sequence nature as value further, and nature as identity. So we have black and white that was forced where everyone was a slave, but it was worse, if you're labeled black. And they did this before our founders were even born. This was entrenched here, hundreds of nations. See, now they have to be fake positive. Now, in relationship to the identity the sciences share, in relationship to the value, the concentrated value of the Campus Marcia system, of its identity's relationship, not just there, but in all locations, areas, and states. Further and further, they had the high line progressions from there. Now, this breaching method knew offensively, knew ahead of time, knew preemptively that they were going to have to do that, not being able to fathom how that could have been known. So they have people with Connecticut interbranch, intercampuses, intercities, recorded with a crime of with database, a string of database crimes, and they prevent mandated law. If you call up the news networks, they say, okay, if you brought one two simple things, so it's very simple. That's how they force child sex offender. I caught them before they got caught off campus. They hid that. Interbranch family members with their kids with the schools through time involved. Washington, D.C., World Trade Center, intercities, campuses of each age and nature have ties, not just on the records, not just because they're training the teachers. Each of the sciences are abridged, not just because they're training the sciences. It's also how they, not just because they have everyone's, and how they have everyone's family members involved with it. So there are the West Farms Mall and shops around it are involved with FBI. Former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, involved with Robert Chevrolet, his lawyer, also involved with predicate with worse than election crimes against each party, but each party is in collusion with them. They use the Obama administration remotely. It's clear as day. Obama did not have free speech. No one did during his. In the same way, they're not allowing President Trump free speech, but forcing other for being pretended by each, even when they're admitting that they don't have free speech, because they have everything juxtaposed. They have the sense and sensibilities of everyone guilty in relationship to all that is actually capable of being discerned by our human fact-sheeping nature, by our correlation nature, which is again bonded. 5 identities of sequence nature. By one identity of value progression coming to, from, as, with, and for itself. So we have foreign and domestic nations that are trying to look for peaceful, trying to come into economy, trying to come into a system together, a positive and negative value progression system. They can't do it together the way they want to do it without forsaking the perfect world, not by accident. That phrase is also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. Involved with Wethersfield, Connecticut, interbranch police, interbranch families, state police, involved with a whole bunch of foreign. Also, again, with former director of the FBI. Further involved with World Trade Center predicate acts with them, cover-ups of them. Now, this is through more than a decade. They are also recorded in a pattern, stacking federal crimes, uses of Facebook. They used Facebook to leading up in their roles building these companies. These are database relationships. These are databases, stewards, sense, and sensibilities they were building. Originally and still, where we have the database involvements with this breaching method that we have, that our founding is really most obligated to counter. Instead, we have it self-value. So they have a whole bunch of people I don't even know from the past. I barely know at all, too, in collusion with online Facebook crimes relevant to the on-off New Britain Superior Court crimes, on-off intercities courts crimes, same ones, prosecutors and their kids, judges and their kids. No one wants to talk about this while they're making things up. They shut people up this way. These are doctors with judges and their drug clicks at their branch, forging names, switching names. All kinds of crimes in the database, fake conversations with people, human trafficking, identity thefts, identity fraud, worse than war crimes, identity crimes. That's what American history is about. So they have the crime method of bringing people, forcing people to courts with falsified police reports, and then pretending passions and emotions. They tell you to listen to them, you have to listen to them. Then they forge names, switch names, make confessions. They use that time to attach you to fake responses to them, fake words, fake ties to other people, fake locations, fake sequence relationships. The branches of government individually grouped and together are recorded crime natures, methods, actually recorded natures. So you have to follow mandated law. So these people are just, oh, well, that's not true because look what this database says is not true. Have them pick one name in sequence. That's part of what I'm reporting. They're lying about what is recorded in databases. They have been preventing mandated law because of the people leading up to the World Trade Center involved with Justice Department racketeering, way worse than that. Way worse than war crimes racketeering originally and still. Washington, D.C. World Trade Center tied to Central Connecticut State University, other colleges and universities of Connecticut in collusion with the same ones connected to it. So when they vet what people say, especially in relationship to what they force reacted, they're not testing anything. They're not vetting anything. They have no credibility. They're taking other people's credibility by making things up increasingly since we're kids. That's why it's so important. You let them interbranch with their kids. Crimes with child sex offender. Leaders of kids. You respond to me here. Respond here. Pick one name because they forge names and switch names and sequences with the Britain Superior Court. They bring people into it other. They're not legitimately asking people around who get, oh, well, we're just trying to establish what we should get down. You get them to one name in sequence now. You give me a response. The Britain Superior Court also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with interbranch Facebook pages, intercampuses Facebook pages, with predicate acts with child offenders, even sexual, even medical, even interbranch. And these are doctors with interbranch drug clerks, forging names, switching names, roles. Steal my identity just because you went to my town? Just because you went to schools I went to. Pretend you know me. Get them on paper now. I asked you nice 50 times. Have them make an opinion about my behavior here, too. That's evidence. That's evidence. Have them, that's important, critical evidence here. All rise. Give me a response right now. Then you guys, oh, well, the video, people don't like that. People like what they know. People want this understood. That's what people want. You guys are lying to the audiences of YouTube, our government, so that you keep the reactions of the online platforms, database crime rolls. Need to hide line progressions. Need to hide abridged correlation nature styles, pretending to be integrity anyway. Oh, but we're brilliant. We did an algorithm when we built a website. some HTTPS. Don't make it a paper. If you want to make a paper, put it on paper. Give me a response now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's give a response because they have the wire crime. They have a wire crime method. If you call up to complain about things, the people answering the phones are being coached to hide lies by the Wethersfield police chief, by his daughter, his foreign domestic family, a whole bunch of people tied to them. They stack names. Same people in the British Superior Court stacking names. Hartford Court stacking names. Then they pretend, why is he using everyone's names? They're pretending they're recorded, stacking names of strangers. I have to use the names of. Pick one. Pick one name you deny this about. Respond right now. Give me a response in writing. And here online, you guys are involved with the FBI and with the CIA and with the Wethersfield police and with the judges and with their family members and with their police forms, interbranch. We have politicians, also mayors involved with this. Washington, D.C., World Trade Center, tied to what is manifest between campuses. Also private, public schools, and also the exception of home schools, also recorded, confessed, demonstrated how brought in members and their family members involved with that, involved with predicate acts, with the people, with the doctors, foreign and domestic, with crimes on off Hartford Hospital, Muslim doctors, religious cycles of each religion involved with hospitals. Get them on paper now. Sick of the delusions of the psychology. They failed you originally and still. I tell you true. I tell you news right. I'm not a journalist. I'll delineate the delusions from their criminally foreign influence natures and crime methods recorded. Journalism was supposed to have to prevent that. Having the license was supposed to prevent that. Not so they can pretend they have more integrity against someone they know has more integrity than them and me. More integrity than them. I have more integrity than them. Here, in relationship to this. I don't know them. I know them in relationship to their predicate act roles, their wrongdoing roles, their sequence shift roles. No, their identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering overtly. With prosecutors, WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, recorded, confessed, demonstrated. Crimes with prosecutors and their kids. Crimes with judges and their kids. Identity thefts. Falsified wire crimes. Fake news articles. Attaching me and others to fake locations, fake words, fake sequences. Attaching little kids. They did this with a principal child sex offender. And with other people on the sex offender registry, further with the courts, criminal before they got caught anyway. This is town offices too. Yeah, we're going to go into all the names and the locations when we draw the maps here. Because these maps are critical to American history, but you have to understand it from Wethersfield. You have to understand it from where and how George Washington had to leave slavery entrenched in the North, and in Wethersfield here, right between New York and Boston, right before the last battle of the Revolutionary War, even with the French general's help. This is where he had to meet him. That's evidence. So